Section 5. 21.
If philosophy is just a residue of unanswered questions or a pursuit of unanswerable questions, why should we keep doing it? One may say, why bother with problems we cannot solve? Because just dealing with the puzzle increases our understanding of the problem and the difficulties involved in it. Without philosophical curiosity displayed in this way, many important issues in the past would have been overlooked or forgotten. By continuing to raise questions and study their implications, we keep theoretical interest alive, no matter whether it can yield positive results or not. Many questions that are now unanswered could turn one day into new areas of study. Those that are unanswerable in principle are still meaningful and important both intellectually and humanly. Thus, despite the fact that philosophy does not provide definitive answers, it is not a futile activity of the human mind. By studying philosophy, we can achieve very profound and very significant insights into the world and the nature of the human condition.
(22)
Pragmatism is a philosophical approach that was developed in America during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It is the only philosophical tradition to originate on American soil. So it reflects ideas implicitly accepted in the United States. Because pragmatism's highest ideal is action, it corresponds with the attitude of an egalitarian nation built by immigrants who were eager to abandon the restrictive traditions of the old world. Pragmatism advocates only those ideas that can be practically applied, thus denying philosophy's reputation of being idealistic and abstract. Pragmatism states that the meaning of ideas lies in their consequences rather than in the ideas themselves. Accordingly, pragmatists believe in the importance of trying different methods and ways of life, and then evaluating their effectiveness. Pragmatism finds fault with philosophy's insistence on truth and certainty. According to pragmatists, truth does not correspond to any ideals. Rather, truth exists in a theoretical relationship of meaning that is constantly changing, according to the practical necessities of the present moment and at a particular age.
(23)
A. Descartes began his philosophical meditations from a position of absolute skepticism. In his search for a rational philosophical foundation, he attempted to eliminate anything that he could not know with 100% surety. He wanted to construct a foundation for knowledge that could not be doubted, just like the principles of mathematics. From this philosophical foundation, Descartes thought he could deduce all other truths. The method he came up with was that of doubting the existence of all things until he arrived at the point where he could not doubt that he was doubting, and should therefore exist in order to doubt. This knowledge led to one of philosophy's most famous sayings: Cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. B. The ancient Greek philosopher Protagoras taught that man is the measure of all things. This follows from the idea that all we know is our thoughts. If all I can know is what I think, then I can never escape into reality. Thus, whatever I think is all there is for me to know. If all individuals are trapped in their own thought life, then it is not possible to judge between alternative views, and there is no ultimate truth. Only if there is a neutral, objective measure that two individuals can look to is there any way to know whether one's views are correct or not. Protagoras was so skeptical that he refused to believe that we could ever really know anything.
(24)
In the West, there has always been a sharp distinction between philosophy and religion. Philosophy started out as a reaction against religion on the one hand and against myth and magic on the other. Thales, circa 600 BC, was the first philosopher in ancient Greek times. A noted scientist as well, he was the first person to explain the nature of the universe in solely physical terms, saying that water was the substance out of which the entire universe was made. Thales was famous for his questioning approach to the understanding of natural phenomena and for allowing his scientific observations and reasoning to govern his behavior instead of relying on myth and magic. In the West, philosophy has always tended to be a rational endeavor, cut off from superstition, faith, or godly intervention of any kind. In Eastern philosophy, in contrast, there is no sharp distinction between philosophy and religion. From the beginning, there was never a conflict between them. Rather, Eastern philosophy actually heightened the meditative aspects of religion, while at the same time providing a theoretical framework and justification for the basic concepts of religion. It is even said that Eastern philosophy is to religion as Western theology is to religions like Christianity. Only it should also be noted that there are elements of Eastern philosophy that represent unique modes of perceiving reality, different from what religions generally teach. Furthermore, these modes are not based on such essentials of religion as ritual, belief, or faith.
Twenty-five.
Plato, circa 400 BC, was a famous Greek philosopher and prize student of Socrates. In 385 BC, he founded a school called the Academy, where rich young men and even some women studied philosophy and other subjects. Plato was both an idealist and a rationalist. He divided reality into two. On the one hand, we have idea or ideal. This is ultimate reality, which is eternal and spiritual. On the other hand, there are phenomena, which are an imperfect manifestation of the ideal because they appear in the material, physical world and are associated with matter, time, and space. Whereas phenomena are illusions which decay and die, ideals are unchanging and perfect. Phenomena are inferior to ideals. For example, the idea of a triangle. The properties of its form is eternal. Any individual triangle found in the everyday world is never quite perfect. They may be a little crooked, or the lines a little thick, or the angles not quite right. They are only ever an approximation of the ideal. Ideals are the basis of science. The law of gravity, E = mc squared, and so on. These are the unchanging laws of the universe. Ideals are available to us through thought, while phenomena are experienced through our senses. So, naturally, thought is a vastly superior means to get to the truth. This is what makes Plato a rationalist, as opposed to an empiricist. Senses can only give you information about the ever-changing and imperfect world of phenomena, and so can only provide you with implications about ultimate reality, not reality itself.